Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast, and today we're going to be going over the Orioles win that they had today. It's their first series win of the year. They did it over the Guardians. They won today. They won yesterday. That's back-to-back wins for the Orioles. We've got a lot to discuss, so let's just get right into it. Going over the Orioles win 6-2 over the Cleveland Guardians. Their record now is 8-10 on the year. They're still 2 games below 500, but they have now won 2 games in a row, and a big part of it has to do with the offense and also the pitching. This was an overall great win. We got to see the best performance by an Orioles pitcher this whole season, and it came from the guy who I was most excited to see coming into this year. And yeah, the offense went out there. They hit 3 home runs on the day. It was an amazing day for the Orioles. Starting off with the offense, though, they put up 7 total hits, scored 6 runs, had 3 home runs. They did strike out 7 times, but it is okay. Going over to the lineup, Cedric Mullins was leading off today. He actually goes 0 for 3 with a walk today. So Cedric Mullins got the leadoff spot today. He didn't play great. One of his worst games of the year so far, but Gunnar Henderson was batting second today. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and hits his first home run of the year. Gunnar Henderson gets his first long ball of the season, and as I was saying in the past few episodes where he was struggling, all it's going to take is for him to get his first home run of the year, and that's just going to cause some momentum. It's going to start for him to start playing a lot better, and all he needed to do was just see that first one go out, which he did today. He actually hit that homer in the first inning early on, so the Orioles got the scoring started in the first inning. Gunnar Henderson hits his first home run of the year. Very great to see that stuff. His average is now at like a 239, so his average still isn't amazing, but obviously after this home run and a multi-hit game today, hopefully that can start some momentum for Gunnar. Adley Rutschman was batting third. He went 0 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. His batting average is at a 212 on the year. It just keeps going down and down for Adley recently. Obviously, he started off the year great, and he's kind of, been in a little bit of a slump recently. But again, I do believe everything's going to be okay with Adley. But I really just hope that it doesn't turn into something like what happened last year, where he was amazing in this first half, and then in the second half, I think in the second half he was batting below a 200 on the whole second half combined. So hopefully something like that doesn't happen to Adley Rutschman in the next half, or just for the rest, or whatever slump he's in right now. Just hopefully he can get out of it sooner rather than later. Going over to Ryan O'Hearn, who has been on a tear today. Ryan O'Hearn would be player of the game. He's the player of the game offensively, but the overall player of the game definitely has to go to the pitching. But Ryan O'Hearn, he's been on a tear recently. He's been doing great. Today he went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a home run. He hit a 3-run homer in the third inning, a 3-run homer. Ryan O'Hearn has been great whenever he gets his starts for the Orioles. Whenever he gets his at-bats, he's been amazing. His batting average is now up to a 326 batting average and a 587 slug. That is spectacular from Ryan O'Hearn. You'd love to see it from him. He's either going to be playing right field or he's going to be DHing. Most of the time, he's going to be DHing. But Ryan O'Hearn, an amazing game. Definitely player of the game offensively, but that 3-run homer that he hit in the third inning, it kind of just made the game, put it back in the Orioles' favor, because going into that bottom of the third inning, it was 2-1, and then Ryan O'Hearn hit that 3-run jack, and the Orioles took back the lead and didn't and just ran away with it. So yeah, Ryan O'Hearn has been great. 2 for 3, 3-run homer as well. He's been great. Now going over to Ramon Laureano, he came in as a pinch hitter. He didn't do anything in his one at bat. But someone that I want to talk about for a little bit is Jordan Westburg, who was batting fifth today. Jordan Westburg today went 0 for 4 with a run. He did get hit by a pitch, but Jordan Westburg 0 for 4. His average is now down to a 183, which is a little crazy to say because for the first couple weeks of the year, really like the first week and a half of the season, he was by far the Orioles' best player, and he has been on an extreme cold streak recently. His average is one of the lowest on the entire team. And yeah, Jordan Westburg just has not been doing great. Had an amazing start, hasn't done anything recently, so you would hope that him and Adley Rutschman can kind of get it together, because both of those guys, and Cedric Mullins, of course, but those like three guys and two guys were really like the guys who started off really well, really great for this team, and they've kind of like simmered down and settled off a little bit. But Jordan Westburg 0 for 4 again, not a great game. But if we go to his past games real quick, he is on a pretty big slump right now. He hasn't gotten a hit in a game since the 6th of April against Kansas City. So he has gone the past. What would that be? 0 for 3, 0 for 6, 0 for 10, 0 for 15, 0 for 19, 0 for 23. So yeah, Jordan Westburg now is 0 for his last 23 in his at-bats. So that is, again, something that cannot happen. Jordan Westburg is a primary focus of this offense. He is a very important piece. And obviously the Orioles have been, putting up runs and scoring when he's doing good. Obviously, you look at the past two games where they've been doing that. But Jordan Westburg is a big part of this team. So hopefully he breaks out of the slump sooner rather than later, very similar to Adley Rutschman. Going over to Heston Kjerstad, he went 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer. He hit that in the 6th inning. It's really cool to see Heston Kjerstad get these opportunities, and he's running away with it. He hits another homer today. Heston Kjerstad has been great in his role, replacing Colton Cowser with his injury. But even whenever Colton Cowser does come back, Heston is proving that he should be able to get some at-bats, whether that's being a DH or whether that's being like a rotational fielder with him and Tyler O'Neill. He's showing why he deserves to have these at-bats, and I'm loving it from Heston. I'm loving the energy from everything from him. Obviously, he was the number 2 overall pick back in 2020, so he has the talent, and it's finally starting to come alive a little bit. He has struggled in his time with the Orioles. Obviously, when he was in AAA and when he was in Norfolk, he was a demon down there. But Heston Kjerstad, when he was with the Orioles, he wasn't great, but he's been doing well this year. He's been doing well. He had a very, very clutch two-run homer to put the Orioles lead up ahead even more to a 4-run lead. And you love to see it from Heston, love to see it from him, and hopefully he just keeps it up. Ryan Mountcastle today went 0 for 3. Jackson Holliday went 1 for 3, and Ramon Urias went 1 for 3. Another notable name that was not in the lineup today was Tyler O'Neill. He's dealing with a little bit of a day-to-day injury. It's not going to be anything too serious. But yeah, going down to the pitching, because there is someone in particular that I want to talk about, and his name is Tomoyuki Sugano, who gets his second career win in the majors and also goes 7 innings pitched. Goes 7 innings. This is this is the best start that an Orioles pitcher has had all year, but this is also the farthest that an Orioles starting pitcher has gone all year. Tomoyuki Sugano is now 2-1 on this season. His second career win in the majors. He went 7 innings pitched, 7 strong innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, only gave up 2 runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts, and gave up 2 solo home runs. Obviously, those were the 2 home runs. The 2 runs that he gave up were the 2 home runs. And an 87 pitch count across 7 innings, he was getting out of some trouble. He didn't necessarily have too much trouble because he did only let up 5 hits, 0 walks. He didn't walk any batters. So Tomoyuki Sugano did amazing, the best start from an Orioles pitcher, and I said this over and over and over again. He is going to be that X-factor player when it comes to this pitching staff, especially now with the news that we learned today about Grayson Rodriguez, which I'll go over in just a second. But Tomoyuki Sugano has to be one of the guys who's going to have to step up when we have these injuries to the pitching staff, and he stepped up today. Just like Dean Kramer stepped up yesterday, Tomoyuki Sugano stepped up again today. And again, like I said yesterday, hopefully that Dean Kramer start could maybe motivate this pitching staff a little bit and we can get some consistency. And that's exactly what we got. Again, this is the Orioles' second win in a row. This is the first time they've won back-to-back games in a row, and this is also their first series win of the year. And again, as I said before many, many, many times, all this team needs to do is get some momentum, and they can roll with it, they can run with it, they can see what happens next in this next series against Cincinnati. Because if they can go into Cincinnati and win another series, then the momentum has really started, and then hopefully the Orioles can just get back on track. Because that's what they're looking to do, is just get back on track. Again, they are 2 games below 500. They just got to find a way to get back on track, got to find a way to just pull some wins out. And they've done it the past 2 days, and I'm very, very, very proud and happy of them. Going down to Keegan Aiken, pitched 0.2 innings, gave up a hit, gave up a strike, no runs. Seranthony Dominguez, 0.1 innings, no runs, no walks, no hits. And then Felix Bautista did get, he didn't get the save, but he did close out the game today. 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts on a 20-pitch count. So you love to see Felix Bautista slowly getting better and better and better as the season goes on. Again, it is still early in the baseball year. We're 18 games through. It'll be 19 games tomorrow. But the Orioles with a series win over Cleveland. Again, Cleveland just went to the ALCS last year against New York. It was Cleveland versus New York in the ALCS. And again, obviously the Yankees won that series, but Cleveland is still a great squad with a lot of talented players. And the Orioles went out here. They got a series win. Very, very, very happy for this team. They needed this. They needed this so unbelievably badly, because if they lost this game, they would have fallen back 3 games below 500, and who would have knows what would have happened next. But the Orioles now sit at 8-10 on the year, and going over to their next series of the year, which starts tomorrow. This is a weekend series. Still in Baltimore. Again, this was a 9-game homestand for them. But going to the game tomorrow versus Cincinnati, it's going to be at 6:05 p.m. It's going to be the Cincinnati Reds versus the Baltimore Orioles. We've got Andrew Abbott versus Cade Povich. Andrew Abbott with an amazing start to the year so far in his one start that he's had. 1-0, 1.8 ERA, 5 innings, 2 hits, 5 Ks, 2 walks, and a homer. Cade Povich, on the other hand, he's had a couple great starts in a row. 0 for 1 on the year, 3.6 ERA, 1.8 WHIP, 15 innings, 24 hits, 14 strikeouts, whatever. So Cade Povich, he's had a couple good starts in a row in terms of limiting the runs that he's given up, and hopefully he can just keep going, because he's quietly been, one of the better Orioles this year pitching-wise. And if he can go out there tomorrow and have another gem, then that's Sugano, Kramer, and Povich back-to-back, all with great starts. Obviously, then you look at Charlie Morton, hopefully it's his turn to have a good start. But Cade Povich looking for a great game tomorrow. Hopefully the offense can keep doing what they're doing. And we're also going to be facing an old friend in Austin Hayes, who signed with the Reds this year. I think he's hit back-to-back home runs as well. So he might have his revenge game against the Orioles this year. Who knows? We shall see. Going back over to the Orioles, there was an injury that did happen today. We do have an injury update on Grayson Rodriguez, which, you can see it right here, obviously. Orioles' Grayson Rodriguez is set for an MRI on a sore right shoulder. So it says right here, Orioles right-hander Grayson Rodriguez will have an MRI on his sore throwing shoulder after a bullpen session Thursday was canceled. So he was supposed to have a bullpen session today, as he makes his return from the injury that he has, but he now has a completely different injury on his, like a sore right shoulder now, a completely different injury, completely unrelated to the injury that he just had. He's now getting an MRI on that. He might have 2 injuries at the same time, and it's looking bad for Grayson Rodriguez because he has been pretty plagued with injuries in his young career so far. And if this shoulder, if this sore shoulder does turn out to be something serious, then the Orioles would be in a pretty weird scenario, because Grayson Rodriguez was expected to be that guy who's going to, be the opening day starter for this team with Zach Eflin behind him. But now Grayson Rodriguez possibly might be out for the entire year. Obviously, Kyle Bradish is still recovering from Tommy John. He's not going to be back until sometime in the second half of the season. And it's not looking good for Grayson. He's someone that I have so much confidence in, and I'm so excited to see how he does. But obviously, last year his season got cut short due to injury, and this year he obviously couldn't, start the year because he got an injury in spring training. Now there's another injury, and it's just stacking on and stuff, and it's just not very good for Grayson. He hasn't pitched a game since July 31st from his elbow inflammation that he had, and he had 2 spring training appearances. Brandon Hyde was saying today, he said he woke up a few days ago with a bit of soreness in his shoulder. He said, I'm not really sure at this point. We're hoping for the best, but we felt like it was necessary to get imaging done. So now he's going to be getting an MRI on the shoulder. So, the Orioles get a win today, back-to-back wins, first series win of the year, but it has to get followed up with some pretty bad news in Grayson Rodriguez, because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't there be some bad news always attached to some good news? But again, Grayson Rodriguez, he was expected to be such a big part of this rotation, and who knows what his future for the rest of this year even looks like. It sucks to see. It really, really, really does. I was so excited to see how he was going to do. And again, hopefully this isn't anything too serious, and he'll be able to come back soon. Wishing him, the best recovery possible, fastest recovery ever. And hopefully he can be back as soon as possible, because I will say this pitching staff does need him. They've played great over the past few games, or the past 2 games they've played great, but they are going to need him down the stretch of the year when games are going to get tougher and games are going to mean a lot more. So yeah, not the best news for the Orioles there. Hopefully everything ends up being good with that. But going over real quick to the standings real quick before we wrap up this episode, I think all the games for today are pretty much done. So yeah, looking at the division right now, nothing too crazy. The Orioles did move up one, though. The Yankees are still first at 12-7. The Blue Jays are second at 11-8. The Red Sox are third at 10-10. The Orioles move up to fourth now at 8-10. And the Tampa Bay Rays are last at 8-11. So the Orioles did move up one. They have won 2 in a row, but so has Boston, Toronto, and the Yankees have also won 4 in a row. So the Orioles got some catching up to do. They got some work to do. Let's hope that they can continue this momentum into the series that starts tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Birds of a Feather. It's episode 18 of the series. We are, we're pumping these episodes out. We're flying by. I'm having a blast doing it. Again, the Orioles get a great win today. Back-to-back wins. First series win of the year. Lots of good news, but also some bad news with Grayson Rodriguez. Hopeful that everything's going to be okay with that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sub up on YouTube and follow up on Spotify if you like this content. I'll be back again tomorrow night sometime with an episode going over the Orioles game against Cincinnati in the opening game of that series. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's night, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.